What is going on, all you Pokemon collecting maniacs out there? This is Ryan, the PikiPikaPapa, and today we're going to be talking about my favorite investment product here in the Scarlet and Violet space. And if you've been watching this channel at all, I haven't been keeping it a secret. I've been saying it loud and proud. I have planted my flag in the sand. I have said, listen, for me at least, I believe that this is going to give us the best opportunity for long-term price appreciation. And I know that there's all kinds of complexities you have to consider with these. Like, I know these Pokemon Center exclusive ETBs, I know they're big, I know they're clunky, I know that makes them hard to store, it makes them hard to ship. Like, people talk about the I don't know, liquidity of this, although I'll tell you right now, I went back and looked at the Rebel Clash Elite Trainer boxes, because if those of you who don't know, like, that was a pre-pandemic production. Rebel Clash is certainly not a great set by any stretch of the imaginations, and those Elite Trainer boxes sell for well over $100, and over the last year, they have been selling on average on eBay of at least one per day. And for me, when I think about not a great set, but the Elite Trainer boxes are selling for over $100, like, that's enough validity, that's enough, velocity for me. I also think that it goes to show that these exclusive Elite Trainer boxes, even though the last one isn't even Pokemon Center exclusive, it was just short printed compared to the other ones, it's selling for over $100. Like, all of these things kind of go together for me to come up with this idea that these Pokemon Center exclusive Elite Trainer boxes have a very bright future. And as I said, we're going to talk about a ton of that. We're going to look at the stamp promos that are in here. We're going to look at all of the other Pokemon Center exclusive Elite Trainer boxes, even back in the Sword and Shield era. Like, we're going to do a ton of comparisons on this video. But the whole point of it is, with all of the excitement around Twilight Masquerade, and that's the very next slide, the Twilight Masquerade Pokemon Center exclusive Elite Trainer box is still in stock. The question is it in stock for what reason? Is it in stock because everybody's hesitant for all the reasons that I just said? Is it in stock because the stamped promo that's in here isn't as hot as the one from, say, Obsidian Flames or Paldea Evolved or 151? Or is it because there have been more of these that have been printed than other sets in the past? And that is my big question. I will not give you an answer to that because there's no way for me to know. But we are going to talk about this exclusive product. We are going to talk about how, the product has kind of evolved over time, and we're going to talk about, why I think this is such a great product. And the only risk to it is if it is printed in higher supply at the Pokemon Company. So with that being said, listen, we do fun data dives like this all the time. We do deep analysis. We talk about investing and collecting, and we have a ton of fun while we're doing it. So if you enjoy this type of content, hit that subscribe button. If you have questions or comments, drop them down below. And as always, if you like what you see, give us a big old thumbs up. So with that out of the way, we can't have this conversation about this particular product until we talk about the particular set. And this Greninja EX is just, it's on a whole nother level, right? Like, this is almost at $300. I'm shooting this video on Saturday. You're gonna watch it on Wednesday. So who knows, maybe it'll crack the $300 mark by the time this video actually launches, but it has been insane the way this card has performed. I could do a whole separate video just on this card, and actually I might do it. I have a whole lot of thoughts and opinions on this that is backed up by some data, so maybe I'll do that. But long story short, $300 for this chase card out the gate. Crazy high price, just insane for an ultra modern card straight out of the gate. Then you got the Eevee card, right? And on Monday, we looked at the top 10 cards that exchanged hands the most on TCG Player, and this Eevee card was #1. That means out of all of the cards that are bought and sold on TCG Player, this card exchanged hands the most last month. So obviously tons of excitement on there. Now, the Greninja card was on there as well. The Carmine card was on there as well. We've seen a bunch of other cards from that set be on the list in the previous month. So there is more excitement around Twilight Masquerade singles than any set we've seen in recent memory. And again, not recent memory, in Scarlet and Violet era, at least over the last year. Now, let me say that this is backed up by facts, right? We do the information, we do the data dives here, so that's really exciting. And also look at the booster box there. These Twilight Masquerade booster boxes are already up right in the $120 range. Now, I will say it is starting to come down just a little bit. We see it coming down off that 120 high. It's down to 118. There's going to be so much more of this product available. There's going to be so much more of this product ripped. Like, it's interesting to me to see these prices so high, but with everything I just said, remember what I just said, there's going to be so much more of this product available, there's going to be so much more of this product ripped. Like, it is interesting that there could be at least some form of production constraint around the Pokemon Center exclusive Elite Trainer boxes, yet for whatever reason, they are not sold out yet. So that, again, it just got me scratching my head. We have a crazy high chase card. We have a booster box that has performed really well out of the gate. We have some of the cards that are exchanging hands with the most velocity on TCG TCG player, yet when we think about it, compared to all of its peers, all of these other sets, Twilight Masquerade, Temporal Forces, Paldean Fates, Paradox Rift, 151, Obsidian Flames, Paldea Evolved, Scarlet Violet, out of all of these, right, when you think about it, all of these are sold out from a Pokemon Center exclusive Elite Trainer Box perspective, but Twilight Masquerade is back in stock, or still in stock. Now, you might be saying, Ryan, well, it's only been out for about 3 months. We're about a week and a half away from Twilight Masquerade hitting the 3-month mark. So you might be saying, now, why would we expect that to sell out so quickly? Well, that's because all of these other ones did sell out. Most of these, not all of them, I think the exception is Temporal Forces and Paradox Rift, but most of them, the pre-orders were sold out before the sets even launched. And then once the sets were launched, there was a small restock that was made available on the Pokemon Center website. But then after that, they sold out relatively quickly, and we have not seen many restocks. We saw a very, very small blip on the radar where Scarlet and Violet base set Elite Trainer boxes came back at the Pokemon Center. We saw a small blip on the radar where Obsidian Flames came back on. But outside of that, none of these have come back into stock. So it's going to be interesting, again, to see how long Twilight Masquerade is going to stay in stock. Because, again, compared to all these other sets, with the exception of probably 151, I think Twilight Masquerade has the most excitement. That's certainly the biggest chase card we've seen. And then, again, you've got the Carmine, you've got just all the cards in there are taking off like crazy. So I'm fascinated as to trying to understand why the Pokemon Center exclusive Elite Trainer box is still in stock. Now, the next thing that we're going to look at here is we have to compare it to Sword and Shield eras. And let me say this before I even start talking about this. Even though we are going to do a comparison, it is an unfair comparison, right? Because in the Scarlet and Violet block, the big thing that separates that from the Sword and Shield, number one is going to be its exclusivity. Number two, it's going to be the stamped promos, which we will look at on the very next slide. Now, we'll start with the exclusivity. You can still go on the Pokemon Center website right now and you can still buy Lost Origin, Astral Radiance, and Brilliant Stars. Those are still in stock from an Elite Trainer box perspective, right? Now that is, the booster boxes are long gone. The booster boxes are all the way up to, $190, $200 each for those sets, but you can still buy the Pokemon Center exclusive Elite Trainer boxes at MSRP. Now, the Fusion Strike Pokemon Center exclusive Elite Trainer box, we've talked about that on the investment videos here in this channel in the past, and we said, listen, when it sells out, we think it's going to do really, really well because Fusion Strike is such a huge set. It's got so many monster cards in it, like it's got a ton of good momentum. Now, when you think about it, it is not that exclusive, and still what has happened is once it's sold out, you've seen a strong price appreciation there, right? Like the price has been going up and to the right. Because of how much is out there, I don't think that the ceiling is anywhere near what some of these other Scarlet and Violet is, but it is interesting to see that it has had a strong response ever since it is sold out. Now, you can also look at Chilling Reign, but remember, Chilling Reign was an error box. There were supposed to be 10 booster packs in here. Only 8 of them came out, but even Chilling Reign has had a very strong price appreciation over the last year because, again, it's not available on the Pokemon Center anymore. Silver Tempest was a really interesting one. Now, you can still buy booster boxes of Silver Tempest on the Pokemon Center, but guess what? The Pokemon Center exclusive Elite Trainer box sold out. So remember, it went Silver Tempest, we had Crown Zenith, and Crown Zenith's Pokemon Center exclusive ETBs were in short supply. Those were the Elite Trainer box pluses. If you guys remember them, I have a couple sealed cases of them. I thought it was going to be a really cool product tied to a really cool set, and that thing sold out, and it has not come back in stock, and those are going for about $110 each. So in the back of my mind, for whatever reason, and it's probably not true, but I'm thinking, man, Silver Tempest is already sold out, even though it's still available from a booster box perspective. Like maybe they started backing off production from Silver Tempest to Crown Zenith, and then of course all the way in to the Scarlet and Violet era. We have seen very limited production, so it's just something to think about. Now, I will say this, I did not include Evolving Skies in this comparison because Evolving Skies, it's its own animal, right? Like the big chase set, it has just absolutely blown everything else out of the water. And for me at least, I don't know what the next Evolving Skies is going to be. I don't want to make any assumptions that this set or that set is the next Evolving Skies. I want to treat all of the sets moving forward, all of the awesome ones, to the same lens that I have from Chilling Reign and Fusion Strike and Lost Origin and those types of sets, because then if it ends up being an Evolving Skies, well, that's great. That's just nothing but upside. But I always like to temper my expectations a little bit. So very interesting to look at how these sets have performed compared to how, some of the other ones have performed so far in Scarlet and Violet. Now, As I said, one of the biggest differentiators for me in the Scarlet and Violet block are these right here. Now, these are all of the Pokemon Center exclusive Elite Trainer Box stamped promos from 2023. I didn't include any of the 2024 ones yet, simply because the sample size isn't big enough to be relevant. But even with these coming from last year, and remember, we're all the way in August of 2024, right? Even with all of these being from 2023, this is straight from PSA's website. So these are the names of the card on the left. Then in the red box there, you see the number in PSA 10s, and then you see the total number that have been sent in for grading. And look at how paltry some of these numbers are. I mean, the card that has the most that have been submitted to PSA for grading is that Charmander from Obsidian Flames. But guess what? Out of the 1,400 that have been sent to PSA for grading, only 243 of those received a Gem Mint 10 grade. That is a 17% gem rate. That is as bad as you will find across almost any era. We even looked at the hardest gem rates from the Sun and Moon era, and guess what? The hardest one that we found was in the 17% range. So this is just as hard as cards, even from way back then when that Sun and Moon had that razor thin border all the way around. So just an incredibly hard card to get in a high grade. And the raw cards of this are really going for in the mid $40 range right now. And the Elite Trainer boxes, the Pokemon Center exclusive ones, are going in like the $70 range. So very fascinating to see these cards. Then you think about the Pikachu from Paldea Evolved, right? Again, 1,000 of them have been sent in for grading. Only 322 have received a Gem Mint 10 grade, right? So that is a 32% gem rate. And if you're trying to collect this card, guess what? I have 4 of them in my personal collection. So over 1% of the population, PikiPikaPapa controls, right? So these cards are really, really exclusive. Now, even the Snorlax, right? From 151, 550 of them in PSA 10, a much better gem rate, but still only 1,267 total have been sent in for grading. And when I see these very, very low total submission numbers, it lets me believe that, hey, listen, probably not a lot of these products are being ripped, and probably not a lot of these sealed products are actually in existence. So it just goes to kind of tie in my thought process of, okay, listen, there is a high degree of exclusivity tied to these, because again, people would be submitting these for grading. And then you look at a card like the Koraidon card, right, from the Scarlet and Violet base set Elite Trainer box. There's only 74 of those in PSA 10 holders. Absolutely incredibly low numbers. And I think that's just going to speak to the value of these boxes further down the road. So with all of that being said, the point of this whole video is the Twilight Masquerade Pokemon Center exclusive Elite Trainer box the sign of things shifting, and it is far too early to make that determination. I think we're going to have to wait another month, another 2 months. If it still remains in stock for another month, month and a half, then I will absolutely stand up here and say I truly believe that they have printed more of this versus the previous products. And I wouldn't be surprised if they do that whenever you have a product that obviously is met with such fanfare and it sells out as quickly as a lot of these have been doing, then why would you not print more, right? Obviously, the whole point of Pokemon is so everybody can enjoy this hobby. I never want the investing side of things to kind of overshadow the fun and the collecting side of things. And again, I want everybody to enjoy this. And if people want to buy this, they should have the opportunity to. I still think that even if they print more of these, they're going to be a great investment for the long run. The other thing I was thinking too is we have seen some of these Elite Trainer boxes that don't have the best promo cards stay in stock a little bit longer. So this one has the Teal Mask Ogerpon right there. Like that is the Pokemon exclusive stamped promo right there. Maybe it's because this promo isn't going to, I don't know, maybe it's not as exciting as, obviously it's not a Charmander, obviously it's not a Snorlax, obviously it's not a Pikachu, so, you know, maybe that's why it's not selling with such high velocity. But I'm going to tell you right now, if the print run for Twilight Masquerade is even in the same field, even in the same, stratosphere as some of these others from Scarlet and Violet, and if Twilight Masquerade continues to be such an absolute stunner of a set, then I think that this as a sealed product is going to be worth so much money in the long run. I'm not betting my money on the Greninja being the big chase card, but if the Greninja ends up being, say, a top 5 chase card, and this ends up being, the most exclusive or the rarest sealed product out of, all of the Twilight Masquerade sealed products, then I think you got a lot of upside here. So the whole point of this video was to kind of baseline ourselves now, to kind of put a point of reference in the timeline, and we'll come back and look at this over the next, I don't know, couple months and see what happens with the Twilight Masquerade Pokemon Center exclusive Elite Trainer boxes. So tons of fun digging into this. I hope you find value in it. I would love to hear your thoughts on these Pokemon Center exclusive ETBs. Let me know in the comments down below. If you liked the video, give us a thumbs up, and if you haven't hit that subscribe button, I'd appreciate it if you did it. We got an awesome community. Love for you to be a part of it. Have a great one, everybody. Talk to you soon.